Welcome to Chris is Building a Workshop, Part 3, Structural Supports in the Base. As you can see here, we've got our tools ready to cut up some wood, a teeny bit of lumber, not a whole lot. We're doing a little bit of work. It's a balmy 24 degrees here. We're going to see what we can get done in the next few hours. The inevitable goal is to move that shed over to that area of the yard a little bit, and to do that I want to make sure that the whole thing is structurally sound before we try to roll it over once the ground thaws out a little bit. So that's the goal for today. Let's go inside and see what we're working with here today. In here, all along this bottom piece of the wall, the baseboard, that's not in the best shape, but it's salvageable. So this other piece of wood that I have laid out here, that's going to be sistered up next to it, tied in. I'm going to do the same thing over on this side along the base just to help secure that. And then in the back here, I'm going to put some supports between this middle joist and the walls. And then I pull out the crap from the front of this shed and replace it with a nice new piece of wood to help stabilize everything. So I just got the first support on. It's pretty solid. Definitely sturdies up the walls a little bit. So I think this is going to work out well. Next up, the other side. Got everything ready to go. Get this one cinched up, then we can start doing the cross beams. That'll be nice. It's not really getting any warmer here today. Okay, so now we have our second baseboard up in place. Next up, I'm going to be putting some boards along here between this joist and give this wall a little bit more support. And looking at the wood that I got here, it fits perfectly between the wall boards on either side. And I think just if I connect it to the different studs here, that should be enough to help solidify this wall a little bit more. Because right now it's a little shaky just because the main center stud is not attached very well to anything except the wall board. So this should help at least make everything a little more solid. I have the back board screwed in. It definitely gives the back wall some more rigidity, which is what I am going for here. So that will be fine for now. I could always change that once the shed is in place and on its new base. In the process of finishing this up, I had to cut away some of the rotten crap, as you can see kind of along the ground here, that was hanging from the front of the shed. Now I have the next support beam to kind of give this wall a little bit more rigidity since it's got this big wide door opening. Mostly this is going to be for the move. Once it's moved, that's probably going to come back out, but this will at least help shore things up and make it a little easier to move this thing without the worry that the wall is going to break apart. So I have this nice and shored up. The amount of structural integrity that this provides to the shed now is quite amazing compared to what it was before when it was all rotten. So I'm happy with that. And then I also decided that I wanted to add one more support beam to kind of give just a little bit more rigidity to the center aspect of the shed, so that when it is moving, everything is kind of held together and stable. And this will actually come in handy later on, because once the shed is moved and this floor is built that this is going to be sat down upon, this will be the point that I use to jack up the walls of the shed and remove the stilts from the outside so that we can lay everything down properly. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to move it up a little bit so that I can get the jack underneath it. Maybe do a little bit more reinforcement just to make sure that those boards are holding okay. And then this will be the jack point so that I can lift up the shed on one side and the other, remove the stilts and then lower them down, and it should then lay flat on the wood floor, depending on if I did this properly. So hopefully I did. We'll see. But otherwise, that's it for today. Made some good progress. I'm pretty happy with this. There's not much else I can do until the ground thaws out, so getting stuff like this done is just going to be putting me in a better place later on when it's time to move this thing. So, thank you for watching Chris Builds a Workshop Part 3. Fixing the structural integrity of the shed. I still haven't figured out what the hell this one's called, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Remember to check out the other videos as I get this shed up and running. And then, who knows what will happen once it's actually a setup area to be forging in. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. But for now, thanks for watching.